Alright, so this is going to be my review of Deadpool vs. X-Force. It was another MegaCon book, and I don't know if I'll do another one because the Deadpool vs. Punisher review has really not even broke 100 views. But hopefully maybe this will catch a little more. So anyway, Deadpool vs. X-Force was another comic I got at MegaCon, along with actually a few other of the Deadpool vs. books. Now, despite my original name, Deadpoolzilla, I was not a big fan of Deadpool. I do, however, enjoy the Deadpool vs. miniseries that have been permeated for a while. They kind of stopped. But there were some really good Deadpool vs. comics, and some I have yet to read, such as Deadpool vs. Thanos and Deadpool vs. Black Panther. There is Deadpool versus the Marvel Universe, but that was like the end of the comic of the Cable and Deadpool miniseries by Dwayne Drazinski, who actually wrote this comic of Deadpool versus X-Force. I don't have the comic on me right now because I kind of put it away already, and I don't feel like pulling it out again. That's what she said. But the ones I did get was this one, Deadpool versus Gambit, Deadpool versus Old Man Logan, and Deadpool versus Hawkeye. So hopefully, maybe everyone will be interested in reading those too. So this is a 4-issue miniseries that is actually set before the events of New Mutants number 94, which is the first appearance of Deadpool. What it is that Cable has been alerted that a mercenary has gone back in time and is going nuts throughout the time stream. So Cable assembles X-Force and encounters Deadpool for the quote-unquote first time. So Deadpool is the villain of the story. It's not like, oh, it's a misunderstanding. No, this is Deadpool going back to his villain roots. This is more or less him going back to, I'm the bad guy and you guys are all dead. A lot of people forget that Deadpool was meant to be a X-Men villain. A lot of people do forget these days that he didn't start out as an anti-hero. He started out as a villain who was trying to kill everyone. Deadpool is... It's also kind of fun because this Dwayne Drazinski, who did write Deadpool back in the day, does have a lot of understanding of these characters. Deadpool... He also wrote the Cable and Deadpool series, which is actually kind of funny because they do reference a few jokes here and there. And there are some fun jokes throughout this as well, some fourth wall breakers. And Wade in here, it's actually fun to see Deadpool back as a villain. It's kind of a nice change of pace, really, to see old Wade come back and be the bad guy again. So that was a lot of fun. I also like the little touch that Deadpool's boxes, his word bubbles, have like a red coating over them. Kind of like how... it's very much like how Deadpool was in the early 90s, where he didn't have the yellow boxes until later, until his own series. In the beginning, he just had like these red colorings over his boxes, his word bubbles, so it's kind of cool to see that little callback. This isn't a long comic, and this isn't a very complex comic. It really also should have been called Deadpool vs. Cable, because X-Force does jack all in here. Like, the most who do anything outside of Cable are Boom Boom and Cannonball. I forget Warpath is even in this comic for the most part. Like, I literally forgot half the damn time that Warpath was here, and Domino barely does anything too. It's more of a time travel adventure, and I really feel like the only reason I feel like it was called X-Force was because X-Force was going to be... This came out roughly the same time as Deadpool 2, which was featuring X-Force. And even though there was kind of at that time a embargo in Marvel not to do a lot of X-Men stuff or Fantastic Four stuff, this was still kind of written in that era, I think is a little fuck you, because it's like, oh, well, these Deadpool miniseries sell pretty well. And I think this was also one of the last ones as well. I think this was one of the last of the Deadpool miniseries, which were, again, like, they were kind of a big thing. Dwayne Drazinski clearly has a lot of fun, and it's clearly insane. There's some really good action sequences, but I think it does a lot, and it does too much in 4 issues. This is the short. This is pretty short. The Deadpool, I think, still. And again, I haven't read the versus Gambit versus Old Man Logan or versus Hawkeye, but this one was pretty fun. But I still think of the ones of the Deadpool versus, if you were just to tell me which one to compare it to, Deadpool versus Carnage is definitely the more fun one, which I have done a review in the past. But if you were a fan of like Dwayne Straczynski writing Deadpool again, especially if you were a fan of the Cable and Deadpool ongoing for a while, then this is for you. Like, this is straight up for you and everyone else. Like, this is definitely a series that this is absolutely a series that you'll love. Like, this is a miniseries you'll definitely love. So, other than that, if you just want to see Deadpool fight Cable, because it's really, like I said, like I've been saying through this whole review, it's Deadpool versus Cable more than it is versus X-Force. It should have been called Deadpool versus Cable with some X-Force characters. That's really what it should have been. It also pokes a lot of fun, because this is supposed to be set in the quote-unquote 90s, so it's kind of fun to see them poke fun a lot at 90s era, like giant guns and shoulder pads and over use of pockets, stuff like that. So like I said, if you're a fan of Dwayne Straczynski's Deadpool, or a fan of like Cable and Deadpool, I'd say get this. Even just kind of give it a shot. Anyway, so there you go, guys. That is pretty much my quick review of Deadpool versus X-Force. You guys tell me in the comments below what you guys think of it. If you've read it, comment below, let me know. And as always, if you haven't already, hit the link below. Head on over to my Patreon. Other than that, I'm Mr. Multiverse. I'll see you next time in the Multiverse.